Good afternoon and welcome to another exciting episode of Entab CampusCare EdTalks, a platform where top educators and leaders express their viewpoints on burning topics related to education. Before I begin, let me quickly introduce Entab to you. We are a 20-year-old IT company engaged in providing school ERP, CRM, and mobile apps to the top schools of India to help them transform from good schools to the best schools. Now, you must be wondering why an IT company is holding such events. We understand that there is a need for a common platform where an educator shall express their viewpoints. Thus, we host the Campus Care EdTalks. Innovation in education emboldens the teachers and students to explore, investigate, and use all tools to uncock something new. It involves an unconventional way of looking at intricacies and solving them. The reasoning process that goes into it will encourage the students to develop their creativity and their problem solving skills. With age of innovation, we are also in the age of possibility and massive disruption caused by the mind-boggling progression of science and technology. The applications unshored by creative and innovative geniuses of the youth will rule the world over. As an economic sector, education also under enormous pressure for modernization and technological integration. To talk more about avenues and to discuss ideas about the same, we have with us Sister Babita Brahma, Principal, Villa Teresa High School, Mumbai, Maharashtra. She has more than 20 years of experience in teaching. She belongs to the congregation of Frashkin Sisters of Mary, a Catholic religious order. She has worked as an educator in Goa, Gujarat, Mumbai, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh for around 15 years. She served as a principal in Karimangar district in Telangana for 4 years and as an educational coordinator of schools and colleges under the province of the religious order across the 6 states. Anthropology, Indian philosophy, and psychology are her special forte. She is also vehemently advocates human rights, women's empowerment, and humanitarianism. We welcome you, ma'am. Babita ma'am, any words for our viewers? Babita
Thank
ma'am?
you.
Yes. Welcome,
It's
ma'am.
nice to be here. Nice to be here. Thank you for the short introduction.
Thank you so much.
Partly, I did have a technical glitch and could not hear 90% of what you said, but I presume what you said was what I had in mind. However, it's a kind of a forum in which all of us are present. When we speak about a global village, this particular scenario actualizes what we have been envisioning once upon a time, a real global village. We can encounter and meet people and create a kind of a randover with people at the spur of a second. So the world has shrunken into our dining tables,
So
drawing
true.
rooms to the
Yes.
tables. Thank you.
So true, ma'am. Welcome to Campus Care Ed Talks. We hope a lot of discussion and positivity about what you just said. So next in our panel, we have Binny Singh ma'am, Director of Tiny Tots Senior Secondary School, Ayodhya, UP. Today, with 5 schools under the banner, Tiny Tots Group of schools have 35 plus progressive years. A stalwart in the field of education, Mrs. Binny Ma'am has conducted various workshops, talks in India as well as abroad. A textile designer by profession who plunged into education field when she realized that Faizabad, UP was one city where there was no facilities for modern and creative education in English medium. She has been facilitated with various accolades and awards by the district, state, interstate, and nationally. She was also awarded with the most prestigious Malala Award by Uttar Pradesh. She has conducted talks on education in London, UK, Philadelphia, US, Seattle, and Colombo, Sri Lanka. We welcome you, ma'am, to Campus Career Talks.
Thank you, Pallavi. It was lovely hearing from you. And Tab, thank you so much for calling us all educationists and sharing our views and bringing us together on this forum so that we grow simultaneously, though we stay so far away from each other. And it's such a blessing for us that we can communicate on the webinars, we can talk on the mobiles, and make, as already said, global teaching is in your fist, and you can go around, working towards excellence now. Thank you so much.
Completely agreed, ma'am. Completely agreed. So, welcome, ma'am. Please do discuss more avenues with us in the future, in the ed talk that we proceed in. So, next in the list of panel we have respected Sasmita Mohantini, ma'am. Ma'am, is it correct?
Mohanty.
Mohanty, ma'am. I'm so sorry, ma'am. Sasmita Mohanty, ma'am, director of Sanjay Ghodwat International School, Kolhapur, Maharashtra. The school is affiliated to Cambridge University, UK. I take pride in heading the school with 4,000 students, as said by ma'am, 350 teachers, and 600 non teaching staff. She is academically qualified with MA, BEd, MPhil, Science, SGIS, and a member of MISA. TAISI, and Sahodia. She has hosted several sports events for CBSE and TAISI. She was one amongst the 15 educators who were selected for training in Singapore by Worldview and Singapore Airlines. She believes in imparting global exposure to students to enhance and broaden their horizons. Hence, she organized student exchange programs and educational tours to NASA, Europe, Japan, Thailand, Australia, Dubai, Singapore, to name a few. We welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Kamlin. And thanks a lot for organizing this Edu Forum. And it's really amazing because I could meet a very old contemporary friend and principal of mine. Usually, whenever there was CBSC conference or any other conference, I used to meet Vinny Singh, and today virtually we are meeting after a long time. It's wonderful, and that's the effect of technology. And I think that is what the contribution of NTAB and the technological impact. And it's wonderful to know each other. All the educationists are here to know their thoughts and learn from each other. So I thank for wonderful introduction of mine, as well as I thank NTAF for giving this opportunity to interact with other educators on this platform. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We welcome you with our hearts. Last but not the least, we have Mrs. Pallavi Nayak, ma'am, Principal of Dr. Kalmandi Shamrao High School, Ganesh Nagar, Pune. This is her 28th year with the KHS family. She began her career as a kindergarten teacher, and over the years, she had gained experience as a teacher educator, instructional leader, and the teacher of English. In 2012, Mrs. Pallavi Nayak ma'am was awarded the Distinguished Fulbright Awards in Teaching Program at College of Education, University of Maryland, USA. She has presented national and international conferences, and in April 2015, she traveled to Manchester, UK to present a workshop of purposeful listening and language proficiency at the International Association of Teachers of English as a foreign language conference teacher. So we welcome you to Entab CampusCare, ma'am.
Thank you, Kavli. I am really thankful to NTAB for inviting educators from different areas to come together on this common platform and share our views. And the topic today is also extremely relevant to what is happening around us. So, thank you for providing us this platform. Thank
We
you.
welcome you, ma'am. We welcome you. And we welcome all our viewers who are watching this show. And if you've not subscribed to our channel, please click that button, hit the bell icon for regular updates and exciting episodes like these. With this, we begin our Campus Care at Talks. So, to begin with, Sister Babita, ma'am, what is educational innovation? How is education different today than in the past? Babita, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you for that question. Innovation is moving according to the signs of the times. And the time that we are in has actually, without ever having us think about any kind of a preparation, made us launch into the deep. We had to make leaps into the unknown, to the darkness. So we were, though unprepared, the situation made us get ready with whatever was in store for us. So innovation, according to me, is moving ahead of the times, taking tomorrow into our hands. So envisage the tomorrow and today itself, take it. So when we talk about do for today itself, what can be visualized tomorrow? It's like the sum of our punchlines of certain gadgets. What next? So think today, what next? And that is innovation for me. And the pandemic situation not just challenged us, it also gave us enormous ideas, a plethora of opportunities. As Miss Smita said, Global Village had come into our fist right now. Yes.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for so beautifully explaining to us what innovation right now is. So, as an edu leader, Bini ma'am, can you help us in understanding why innovation is primary in education, where India stands in the global scale?
Okay, I would continue with where Babita ma'am left also. That and when we talk about our own standards of education and we talk about the Gurukul age, our education was very much what we wanted it today. The thinking skills, the skill based education was there. That's how actually we have the different sects in our society, which says Kshatriya, Yadavs, and different names were given. But yes, those were innovatives who went into skills and innovation took place. But somehow we got derailed from our earlier education system when we had the invaders and our country went into let's say a lot of changes in the different styles of education, especially when the Britishers came over. They wanted their own style to be taught. So education system did change. But yes, when we talk about why innovation is primary in the education system, it is innovation leads to thinking, and these thinking skills, or we say all these skills are in wherever you have thinking and wherever your skills involved, innovation takes place on its own. So the culture change has to take place, and when the culture changes, the learning pace changes. So even at global level, where we say that and Indians were very good with the IT skills, they made a huge impact globally whether their IT skills were concerned. But somehow or other, our learning was not to the epitome, that we were not the best. Why was that? Because we did not have our students, educators did not have so many facilities. We did not have those labs. We did not have that mindset. We did not. The government was also very hesitant in giving that openness to the students so that they could grow. I remember when my son went abroad to study, and he was an above average student. I won't say he was the best student, and he just waited for his studies to get over and he could start doing something. But when he went abroad, and he said, I wish I could always be a student. Learning and is so much of fun. So that is what I think we have to come back to our own education system, and the primary concern has to be to make the students, be more competency based to move ahead.
Completely agreed, ma'am. Completely agreed. So beautifully, you've told how technology has uh, helped us so much right now. So, as we talk about innovations, innovations in educations are regarded along with the education system within the context of a societal super system, demonstrating the interrelations and interdependencies at all levels. Raising the quality and the scale of innovation in education will positively affect education itself and will benefit the society as a whole. So, as an edu leader, Sasmita ma'am, can you please share a few tips for raising the quality of education in schools?
Yes.
what I would say that, whatever was shared by Miss Babita and what was shared by Binny Singh, it was about innovation. And innovation is today's the major focus in all the educational institutions, because without innovation, sustainability, and creating good thinkers, good contributors for the globe, it's very, very difficult. And raising the quality of education through innovation, it's very important, because if there is exploration, if there is collaboration, if there is approach of interdisciplinary, rather than the earlier method what was followed by the teachers in teaching or handling the students in the classroom, which used to be one-sided education, that the teachers need to go and teach whatever is been assigned. But those kind of education, that is exam oriented education. So exam oriented education only could partially make the people to be successful. But in life, if individual need to be becoming successful, then there should be raising the bar of education through variety of trainings, and it's a process. So the process need to be very, very strong, the methods need to be very, very strong, and there should be different kind of approaches which need to be adopted by the institution. And by adopting different approaches, by providing continuous training, by bringing innovation in the classroom, teaching and learning processes, then the quality of education could be raised. And definitely all these would make the students to have the benefit, because they would be problem solver, they would be creator, they would be thinking independent thinker, they would be risk taker, and they would able to find out different kind of solution for the variety of problems. They also have the independent thinking. They will not be using the thinking process of somebody else. So this way, if we allow the students to encourage them to explore, to experiment, and to do things in a different way, and encouragement is given, there would be new ideas. There are many new ideas which will come up, and without creativity, I don't think that there would be any existence of the education. So we need to, if we want to encourage the quality of education, we should encourage creativity among the students. And this is how we can work with the processes, and adopt new methodologies, adopt the changes, build the competency among the students and the teachers, and raise the bar of quality of education. According to me, this is what I feel.
So true,
Thank you.
ma'am. So true, ma'am. So, as we speak about creativity and innovation, there are many hurdles too. So, Pallavi, ma'am, our viewers would want to know, what are the most common obstacles to change? What factors stand in the way, block change in education? What is it according to you, ma'am?
Yeah. Thank you, Kavleen. So before I move to the obstacles, I would also like to share what I mean, or for me, what educational innovation would be. So for me, educational innovation is providing learning experiences both to the teacher and the student, which are redesigned from the point of view of a child centered learning. Okay, and that which promotes the delivery of the curriculum and instructional ideas in such a way that it is relevant and meaningful for the learner, even in the present time in the classroom and in future, because we don't know what kind of workforce these students are going to join. So the skills that we can develop which make them future ready, so the different school programs and events that we design should be designed with this outlook in mind, that we prepare our children for the future. Second thing that you have asked me about the barriers, let me tell you the first barrier is the lack of preparedness that the school as a system has towards innovation. Because innovation is a scary word. So when the teachers and the students and the parents are informed that we are going to begin with some innovative practice, either in curriculum delivery or in different skills that we want to develop, there is first of all resistance, because innovation requires a lot of investment of time, thought, processes, which requires again for the entire team to think innovatively, critically, and creatively, which are not easy processes. So I feel the first barrier is the system itself. This concept of innovation is pretty challenging. The second is, of course, parents. Parents tend to feel very happy if the system is running smooth in a traditional way, and they don't want to rock the boat. So even when the school tries to innovate and share some innovative practices, the parents or the students would insist on going back to the traditional ways of textbooks and traditional assessments and evaluation methods. So and the third, of course, is this is very generic. I'm talking; it's not specific to my school, but generally, even the government, the policies that the government makes is also sometimes not very, they're not very clear about educational innovation. So when they introduce programs, they introduce it in spurts or standalone programs. It's not like a sustainable long term program in which the teachers, students, parents, and the school leaders invest their time, energy, thought, resources, everything. So these are few barriers I feel that educational institutions face, when they're implementing innovation.
I would like to add to Pallavi's saying that it's so difficult. People are always adapted to a routine,
Yes.
and to pull them out from the comfort zone and making them to try something, then so much of, as he said, so much of resistance is there, so much of judgmental thinking is there. So you really need to push everyone that let us give a try, however cost or time or energy require. Then you need to really put your foot down and start working for innovation. So it's the biggest challenge.
So rightly said, ma'am. So rightly said. I hope your views, your points reach the right ears, and there is a positive change in the future. So thank you for enlightening us. So as we talk about innovation, the hurdles, as a school leader, Babita ma'am, how do you demonstrate creativity in your classrooms, in the classroom environment?
To be exact, what works in one classroom situation does not work well in the other. If we go with a kind of a package to one classroom and we are going to distribute the same in every classroom, perhaps it may backfire and bounce back. We will have a kind of a boomerang effect. So it's important to learn from one classroom to the other what works well and what does not work well. We did have students and teachers grappling with the new situations when it comes to assessment. It was difficult for us to assess the students as to how genuine the assessment method is. We have tried one after the other, this method, that method, whatever works well. And then we had to give up certain modes and take up something else, and then realize there is something good in the first, but not everything. In the second, what was good in the first is missing in the second. So there is no one ideal situation at all. And given the factor, the technology has provided us with ample opportunities, not just for the teachers, but for the students much more. They were all into coding, they were all into 3D printing, they were into design thinking. We did have parents actually involving in everything. From the first week of lockdown, that's first week of April onwards, we just actually passed into online classes, started with activities for the entire families. So this time we connected with the families, we connected with the neighborhood, we connected with everyone. To the extent we were able to harness the entire situation in the best way possible. And we did really learn from one another too. We were given the opportunities to just get into kind of a virtual entry and inspection into other schools. You know, schools were so open. We actually came together as one platform. There was no watertight compartmentalization of that sort. You know, we did not have any kind of a geographical boundaries. As we can see it, we have come together. We did have certain personnel from different parts of the world addressing the students. We had debates and club activities. We did have competitions, the family competitions and children's competitions. We did have every cultural, religious, national celebrations. This year for Christmas, as every year, we do have collection of articles for the less privileged. And we did decide this year it's not going to take place because everyone is in a kind of a cash crunch situation. Plus, we did have difficulty, perhaps much less in our school, but all around with regard to the collection of fees and many other issues. But I'm so surprised from day before yesterday onwards, online things kept coming to the school for the less privileged. So, this connect that we have been seeing, every parent, every teacher, every student has on their own realized the need to reach out. So, even when we get into the class, as some of the teachers even coined the new terms like eclectic, dyslexia we have, dyscalculia we have, we did have now techlexia because children are highly advanced and not the teacher. So I think we are finding it difficult to reach up to the pace of the students. So sometimes if there is a technical glitch in the classroom, the student will give a suggestion to the teacher. Please do this, please do that. So it has been a kind of a mutual journey with the student, the parent, and the teacher. And the teachers had to actually walk the extra mile to make things happen.
Yes,
So they did walk that extra mile, stretching oneself beyond limits, I would say, but not beyond the snapping point.
completely true, ma'am. Completely true. How beautifully you've told us that yes, technology is the need of the hour, and we all are learners. So, to all our viewers, our educators are working day and night to give you the kind of learning experience that is demanded by the time today. So, as ma'am has mentioned, that technology cannot be ignored right now. Technology is playing a vital role in every industry right now. So, what are the effects of technological innovations in education? What is your point of view, Bini ma'am?
So, as we come back to why we are here today, the webinars, our conferences, as I was talking to the ma'am before this, that we have a Sahodya meeting tuned up. So, imagine earlier we would have not had a conference or a webinar, we would be booking our seats, looking for places to live, and interacting with each other. And today we are face to face, even, understanding each other through this mode of communication. So we have moved ahead, and yes, blessing in the sense that Corona has taught the teachers overnight how to connect to the students, how to connect parents, how to bring the students who were going through a lot of stress levels, how to make them comfortable. And yes, again, what Babita ma'am just said, our students are much ahead of us, where their technology understanding is concerned. We are hesitant even to press a button, and the child doesn't think twice. He says, "Oh, I have a 12-year-old grandson. He just says, Nani, you do not know this. This is how it has to go about." And he'll do tuck, 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 tuck. And I say, okay, please teach me how do I go about it. So the children are much ahead of us. And that has always been there. That's the reason we say generation gap, and generation gap will always be too. But yes, now the teacher is ready even to learn from the youngsters. That's one barrier which we have broken. Earlier, it was the teacher who knew everything, and the teacher was the know-how, the God.
Very true, very true.
Now the teacher says, "Oh, can you help me out? I do not know how to do this." And the children are so, "Ma'am, just wait. I will tell you. This is how we go about it." And we are so happy. So that's where actually learning, collective learning is taking place. When we talk about creativity in classrooms also comes like this, because we are in tune with each other. So these workshops, these webinars are what is actually we are ahead of. Though we may say artificial intelligence is one of the subjects introduced, and a lot of schools have opted for it, and those who do not will lag behind somewhere. I know this year lots of schools may not have because new subject altogether, but I'm sure in the coming years schools will have to take up. If you have robotic labs, you have Atal labs, you talk about it, and you have technology has its innovations. Technology is making you move ahead, and technology is where you have to be more innovative to stand out. But somewhere I am coming from a C class city. What disturbs me today is when we sit on these forums, we sit on these webinars, we talk to each other. The schools we find are so comfortable talking about this. But what about the 80% education system what we have in our country? My neighborhood small schools, they do not have the phones. They have one phone that also is a basic phone. There are no facilities. They do not know what is a webinar. The parents mindset has to be changed because they are not used to it. So these challenges are ones I am really looking forward that if we could bring those changes. When we talk in CBSE, when we talk to the learned intellectual community, we feel that, so good about it that we are so much ahead of times, and this is what we are doing, and next we are going to do this, and our children are going to be way ahead. But what about the others? What can we do? This is one thing which, when we make a system or we make policy, we must look into this, that what is that we can, like we have in the school, the high achievers are given a different type of a questionnaire and a different type of challenges that they must do. The low achievers, okay, this is what they can do, or what you are good in, if we could bring them out doing something. So same way, those underprivileged in the society, if we couldn't have another system for them, how can we tell them, webinar attend karo, you have this innovation karo, ye karo? How can they do it? They don't have those facilities. But we put them all on the same, platform, and tell them you have to compete with an A class student and a D class student. That's where I get disturbed, and I do not know actually what to say about it. But yes, tomorrow they may be ahead of us, or tomorrow they come to us, the same platform. But today we have to somehow we have to think about innovative ways to bring that technology up to the doorstep of these people. Yes, all of us at our level are trying to do the best. We are all come from that mindset that we want to give the best to our students. So yes, thank
So
you.
technology, as ma'am said, can be both a boon and a bane. Boon for us, bane for some 80% of population that we have. So as we speak about technology, with the new technology displacing workers across many fields, what will be the likely impact on the teaching fields? Ma'am, will machines replace teacher? What is your point of view, Sasmita ma'am?
Yeah, thank you for such a wonderful question, because I would love to answer. Basically, I am a passionate teacher. So, what I feel, technology has its own role to play. It has played a major role now, transforming everything, the entire education system. I still remember 13th of March, We didn't even know that, okay, the lockdown would happen. Our exam was going on and we had to call up the examination and send the students home thinking that after 2 days things would be all right. Next week things would be all right. And we kept on waiting. The day never came. And we had to transform the entire teaching fraternity to go to the online mode, facing all the difficulties and challenges. So, we saw to it that the children are not missing out anything, as Babita ma'am said, co-curricular activities, training, competitions, investiture ceremony, everything we conducted online. But then ultimately, though everything was happening online, like regular classroom, including assembly and physical fitness and even the meditation, but something is missing. So that's something. However, technology is there, they are not going to, it is not going to replace the teachers, because that emotional connect, that cannot be brought by technology. I will just give you a small example. Today, I was going around the classroom because the online exam is going on. So I spoke to 8th grade student. I said, "How are you all?" They were so excited to answer to me. "We all are fine." I said, "When are you coming to school? You call us now. We will come now next minute." This was the answer. So that means they all are missing the teachers, the school. However, they're comfortable at home. Everything is there. 1 minute they're in the class and 1 minute they're out of the class. They have so much of freedom. Teachers have no control over them. But still, they keep missing teachers physically, the school environment physically, they keep missing. So I don't think that the teachers are going to be replaced with technology. Maybe the teachers have to adopt technology to deal with whatever the changes have taken place, and further it is going to continue, because artificial intelligence and the multimedia system and the innovations, all those things, whatever is tinkering lab, all those facilities, whatever is coming up, teachers have to upgrade themselves. But then teachers would always remain with lot of demand and with lot of respect to continue their job of teaching to the students, because technology cannot take the place of the they cannot replace teachers. So teachers are going to be, their job would be still, I feel, safe. But there might be some changes expected in a different way. As Bini said, that we are learning from the students technology, because we are not that good at technology. So it might be the role of the teacher. It's already has taken place that the teachers are becoming facilitator and encouraging the students to have the self learning, giving them all the, creating the environment for their learning to happen. So that change would happen. Already it has happened in many of the schools, and rest of the schools and the country also would turn into it. But then teachers would be required, because the moral values, the role of the teachers, whatever is there, intellectually, morally, physically, whatever impact and influence the teacher is having on students, that is definitely going to continue. Otherwise, we would not be seeing Indian teacher getting global award. Yesterday, getting $1 million, and the simplest and the humblest person in the world. So it's going to continue.
So true,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
So true, ma'am. So, yes,
Yeah.
very true. So, despite the hype and fear, machines are unlikely to replace the teachers anytime soon. So, as we move ahead, a major shift from learning to know to learning to do and learning to work together is required. What is the role of parents in this learning in the innovation age? Please shed some light, Pallavi, ma'am.
Sure. Um, Learning to do is the buzzword now. And parents really need to understand that the child needs to explore himself, needs to experiment, needs to research on his own. A lot of focus on self study should be there. So parents are going to play a very big role. First of all, at the home front, parents need to allow the children to explore, because our Indian parents have a very emotional attachment, having a very emotional attachment to the children. They are so eager to help the child. Okay, come forward to help the child. Let me do it for you. Let me help you. Let me take your studies. Let me help you revise. So this approach to learning, first of all, it has to change at the home front, where you give them different choices, you give them different time frames, and let the child make a choice as to what he wants to learn, how he wants to learn. I'm not saying the entire educational plan needs to go all with free choices, but there should be time and space for the children to explore, research, experiment, and collaborate. Very important. In schools, we are doing this technological innovation, like the entire school going online is the biggest innovation that has happened, which we had not ever thought about it or imagined in our dreams that schools would go online. But we all adapted to it so beautifully. All of us, young and old, and the youngest, the students, as a team, we all adapted to it. And I'm telling you, the biggest role the parent has played, because when the parent showed confidence in the school, in the teachers, that yes, they can run the school this way, and the support that they extended really made it very easy for us, to experiment, to explore. And of course, parents who have been from in our school, parents who have been alumni, we were able to reconnect with them. They were able to join our classes and talk to the children, interact with them. So parents have played a very, very important role. If we've had major technological issues with regard to the online classes, parents who work in these fields, have come forward to help and support. So they have played a very, very important role in making learning how to do by doing. And of course, the school programs, I must say, that we've had the tinkering lab, that we have the computer periods, the PT periods, we've had parents joining the children. So we had a day where we celebrated, okay, today I do all my PE classes along with a family member. So we've had grandparents, sibling, parent doing the exercises in the class along with 40 other children. So another cultural event, Ganpati festival is so big and huge in Maharashtra. So usually in a regular year, we could never get the details of how children celebrated Ganpati festival in their respective homes. So we launched something called as Ghar Se Darshan. So every morning we had a class, and children from that class would showcase their Ganpati to their friends, and the family would join in, and we made it very interactive, where we informed the parents to talk about one very specific ritual that they follow, a tradition that they follow. So the grandparents, parents, siblings, extended family members, everybody joined in that Ghar Se Darshan. So we are very overwhelmed with the kind of response and support that we have received from the parents. So parents are an integral part, because they kind of propagate what we believe in to the children, because those are young learners and they need some kind of validation.
Yeah, I would support Pallavi because I also experienced when Open Parent Day we called virtually. All the parents were telling that we learned so much. We learned maths, we learned English, sitting along with the child when the teacher was teaching, we learned everything.
Yes.
Lockdown has given us so much of opportunities. We never used to know that how the teachers are teaching, how they are handling the children. But now we have become half teachers at home, and they used to be so ready, getting up quickly, arranging the room, making the children to be ready at the place, having breakfast and all. Their cooperation was excellent, and even how to conduct online examination, how to submit paper, everything they
have
learned.
learned, yes.
Yeah,
So
so
kudos
they
to
were
our
appreciating a lot.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Kudos to our parents out there. Great job done. And thank you for supporting the educators in this hard road that they are just moving on right now. So, as we say that parents are an important part of the educational innovational system, educational changes are often perceived as being problematic as well. That is, it is not the nature of change itself, but the nature of knowledge, skills, attitudes, and those involved in the way they are expressed in action. So, Babita ma'am, how can teachers be motivated to change in this kind of innovative age?
Change, as the novel cliche goes, is the only constant. So either change or perish.
True.
So the situation has actually propelled us to move forward. And it's a blessing in disguise, actually. And then the global community has come together. All our stakeholders have come together to work together. Because that togetherness is what the most looked up to. So whenever we're talking about the four pillars of education, that one a striking element, that is learning to be, not just learning to know, do, and work together. Learning to be is actually attacked here. And the one who is able to manage the entire lifestyle with that emotional quotient set in place, that particular person would be able to juggle between all that is happening here. I'm sure across the country and the rest of the world, people did face difficulties of this sort. They were just thrown into a situation that they had to grapple with it and grab the positivities that is available and then go ahead. So everyone cooperated. So that learning to be has actually helped us to create the kind of a transformation that is required. So this technological transformation is going to stay here. The blended learning or the kind of what we call the mixture of things or a hybrid kind of a situation that we are planning, the hybrid learning, that is actually going to stay. So, though it was difficult for the seniors, the teachers are a different rung away from the students. It was difficult for them to make the change, but they realized change is necessary. It has to be done. It was mandatory. So it was propelling us to take that direction and take the entire garb into our own self. So everyone has become a technocrat now. Everyone, all. The teachers who we thought cannot cope up with actually have become experts. I wouldn't say only the global natives or the digital natives are experts. If you were to see the situation all across the world, even the migrants have created such massive change in the well-being of the country. For example, the migrants in the different parts of the world. So we, the elders who are the digital migrants, have actually grappled with the situation and in certain ways or in a large way have overtaken the digital natives too. Because even when the children make errors, the teachers are able to identify what's going wrong. To the extent there are certain teachers who have gone home to the children to understand what exactly he or she is doing. Because when the classes are taking place with the video off, they might be into something else because they are into multitasking. They are capable of multitasking, and everyone is actually into multitasking. Even today, I'm sure most of us sitting here are also having our mind working with anything else. Okay, we are from one to the other, moving from one to the other. So, the global situation has made us to be on the move. The one who is moving will become the winner. So, if we are ready to move, if we are ready to be ready for that transformation, and that is going beyond the form, transform. If that is essentially harnessed, then I'm sure we are going to be winners. So, listening to the unspoken words of the children, listening to what is happening around, if you're able to bridge that great divide in the country, great divide in the world, like the haves and have-nots, the C class or the A, B, etc. class that you are mentioning about. Because if we have seen the history of the world, it is those who are coming from that C kind of a category who have actually created innovation and change in the whole world. They are the movers and makers and change makers of the world. History is rampant with such examples. I'm sure all of us can take examples of such people who have made a mark in their own personal and professional life just because they have realized that underlying reality and has grabbed it, harnessed it, and moved ahead.
So
So
true, ma'am.
teachers have moved and helped one another.
Yes, ma'am. Teachers are
Yes,
actually holding hand in
ma'am,
hand.
I would like
Yes,
to just
ma'am.
add up to you that even, when you say the countries which have got everything in bountiful, their innovations there is lesser than those countries which have a lot of challenges, because it's the challenges which make you think beyond, and your thinking skills and innovations come only when you have problems. And so solutions are only found when there are problems. So great.
So true,
True,
ma'am.
true,
So true.
so true.
Actually, so true. And I hope that we prosper to the changes that we are having. We become a dynamic whole. And thank you to the educators, our principals, and the children themselves. Everybody together is working so hard to get everything on the checklist that we've made for ourselves. So thank you so much. With this, we come to an end of our webinar. Before closing, I would request my educators, my respected panelists, to give a message to our viewers, to the parents, to the teachers out there. Starting, ma'am, Vinny, ma'am, what do you have to say to our viewers?
um, where if we have our teachers out there, I would like to say teaching is no more the what was earlier. It was, if you're not doing any six for your homes, but today's teacher is a multitasking teacher, a teacher who knows, has to look into not only self growth, but has to look into the ethics, has to ensure that the child is what the child is aspiring for in the future. Are they, whatever they're doing, are they look, what is the end result they're looking forward to? Are they only preparing students for the competition, or they're even making them self-dependent, identifying themselves, and even working towards the nature, and having those social skills towards not only the people, and as I said, the what the nature or ecological balances they are, the critical thinkings. So all these things, the problem solving, curiosity development, all these words are which a teacher actually has to ensure the students are working towards it. And why? They have to start with themselves. So the teacher needs to keeping upgrading themselves. And where us principals, us leaders are concerned, we are good leaders only when we make better leaders of the people who are working along with us, because that's what leaders have to do. We have to ensure that everyone is growing and our self growth happens with it. Parents, that's the third angle, which is the most important, because the tripart makes these children more familiar with the tomorrows what they have. So it's the parents whose mindsets we have to change, as very rightly said by someone, I don't remember, but parents are the ones who actually need to be regularly being spoken to, brought them into the system, trying to make them understand that what's good for them, and definitely what the children should be doing. Like you've seen so many now, the children become join IIT, and then they give up everything and want to take up music, or maybe take up farming or things like this. So why are the parents not trying to make them understand what their liking is, what their self identity is, and trying to make them happy people? And I'm sure when the children are happy, parents themselves will be happy. So let's work. Parents, teachers obviously have to equip themselves. They are the warriors of today, besides our doctors, and the leaders guys are always there to work up towards excellence.
Thank you.
Excellence and productivity. That is what it is. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for inspiring us so much. Sasmita, ma'am, what do you have to tell to our viewers? Any words of wisdom to the teachers and students out there? Ma'am, you're in mute. Sasmita, ma'am, you're on mute.
Yeah. For teachers, I would say become passionate learner. And for parents, I would say that examination and marks are not everything. And for students, I have to say chase your dream, work for it, follow your passion. That's it.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, students. So, all the students, chase your dreams. And with this spirit, Pallavi, ma'am, what is your message to our viewers out there?
For me, now right now we are in the midst of technological invasion and innovation. Our life is totally controlled by technology 24/7. And our young learners have also come into the gamut of technology, which they always were, but now it's very, very prevalent. So, along with academic learning, it's important that as educators we take care of their socio emotional needs also, because right now that is getting hampered a little bit because of the way classes and learning is happening, where the sense of coming together, meeting each other, socializing, sharing has really dipped down. So I feel we need to be very, very mindful of the social and emotional status of both our teachers and students, because teachers are also struggling. It's not a very easy task that they are doing, it's an uphill challenge that they are going through. So, both we need to be very mindful of the social emotional needs and well being of our teachers and students.
So true, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for the wise words you've expressed. Thank you, ma'am. Babita, ma'am, what is your point of view? What is, please, some words of wisdom to our viewers?
In line with what Mrs. Pallavi Naik had just uttered, it's very important to gear ourselves towards our SQ, the spiritual quotient, irrespective of the kind of religious inclinations, faith we have. It's very important to connect to our soul. So once we keep our spiritual quotient in place, all the other quotient will also fall in place. Our social quotient, our emotional quotient, our happiness quotient, our creativity quotient. So it's very important, in spite of the kind of factors that are actually kind of hampering our moving forward, it's important to remain happy. Be happy attitude is something that all of us need to practice. And one punchline I always tell my children: be part of the solution and not part of the problem. And the very fact that you are in the problem, please find a solution. If there is a problem, there is always a solution. And then be the seekers of that solution. Let us put and pool our resources together and put ourselves in the right place. Help ourselves to become better human beings, and always practice the attitude of gratitude. The one who is grateful will always be happy.
So true, ma'am.
Thank you to all of you for sharing your words of wisdom. It has been very, very encouraging listening to one another, and the words of wisdom helps each of us to grow, to learn from one another, because none of us are finished products. It's again uttered by one of my 10th standard students. I'm a work in progress. It's uttered by a child. We are all work in progress, becoming better human beings day by day. Thanks to all of you for helping us become better.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Miss Kabir.
Yeah. It
My
was
pleasure.
really wonderful to meet everyone and to hear each one of you. Thank you, and thank you, Kavlin.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, and thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. So
Great
with
learning
the
from all of you. Kavleen, you did a marvelous job, and we would love to be connected. and from the wintry north to the lovely weather of Maharashtra.
Maharashtra.
So, ma'am,
Yeah.
with this positive spirit, with the wintry north to Maharashtra, yes, we are all connected and technology has helped a lot. So, with the positive spirit of to be a part of the solution, not the problem, we come to the end of our webinar. Thank you to all our educators for joining us, and thank you to all the viewers for watching our show. I hope the experience was as positive as ours. So, and if you've not subscribed to our channel yet, hit that button, click the bell icon. We would have many more events like these, so make sure that you click that button.